Welcome to another episode of Depreciation Nation, and as you are aware, some of our favorite segments are our afternoon with segments. And today I happen to be here with yet another one of my personal heroes, Mr. Randy Pobst. Thank you for being on our channel. And in all honesty, if you don't know who Randy is, he may be one of the biggest names within the automotive industry, even particularly within the racing industry. And he has been kind enough to invite us to his home today, show us around. We're going to talk cars, we're going to talk racing, we're going to talk motorcycles.
Ooh, bikes.
So, thank you for being on the channel.
Kyle, it's great to be on Depreciation Nation.
Thank you very much.
My whole driveway and garage is all about depreciation.
And that's the theme of our channel. So, that being said, let's get to talking.
Want a car that's depreciated in my world is that I like to race them. And when you race a car, every time that car leaves pit lane, you have to be willing to say goodbye to it because it may never come back. And that's not always true. I have race cars I've had for many years, but if you hang around the racetrack much, you'll see them get destroyed regularly. It's the downside. Yet we do it anyway. I think the risk actually raises the reward. It makes it more interesting, fun, thrilling, and adrenalized.
I would agree. Let's go see some cars.
And I want to do it. Well, you're in the right place for depreciation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
You haven't been to my house.
Fortunately, even the Camaro. Oh yeah? What have you got?
I got a 04 Saab 9.3 I bought for $400.
Saab.
It's
Yes.
an Aero, 148,000 miles, 6-speed manual. That's pretty cool. My son's got
a wagon.
No, it is not. My son's got an 03 Saab 9.3, not an Aero, not a wagon. Paid $1,200 for that. Got an
You're a
E46.
Saab guy.
I'm a BMW guy, actually. I just have a soft spot for Saabs and Volvos.
Yes.
But I've got that. I've got an E46. And then we have our cars that we actually drive.
Oh, that's cool.
But
I've had lots of BMWs.
yeah.
I had an E46 330 for a daily driver just like 2 years ago. I bought it to make a race car out of it. They have a class called Spec E46.
Yep.
And then I found out that the parts are like $25,000.
Yep.
Just the parts. And I thought, nah, maybe not. But it was such a nice car. I ended up daily driving it for a couple of years. It was a salvage title, so it was cheap. It only had 95,000 miles on it.
That's a great car to have for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I sold it with about 125 or 130 on it, and it was nice. And
So that's the theme of our channel, is what we can do for a car payment, I guess. We started a whole new segment, honestly, by the suggestion of our wives. Great depreciated cars for single moms. And so that is something we are starting to explore.
Yeah.
And Hyundai is going to be a major player in that whole segment.
yeah, late model.
Yep. But
But
like
they depreciate a lot.
2012 to 2016 Elantra you can get for $7,000 or less.
Yeah.
We're gonna put a car seat in one. We're gonna put a child in one. We're gonna drive them around. We're gonna do something pretty neat.
My nephew has an Elantra from earlier than that, like maybe a 6.
That's
5
the
or
body.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might
Yeah.
call it that. It's a hatchback, actually.
Yeah.
GT.
Ooh.
And he's had that long time, 10 years. Doesn't drive much. He works in the city, and it has been fantastic. Very little trouble. I did a brake job on it,
Nice.
and it's still working, so I'm happy about that. But you know, as long as you don't go too old on a Hyundai,
Right.
because Hyundai is just step by step. They've been like on a ladder, up, 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 getting better and better.
And they're going
I
to be looking.
respect that.
They're going to be looking down at people soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
I respect that brand a lot.
What they bring for the price point, you can't get anywhere else.
Right. Yeah. The cars always have features that you don't find in other cars at that price.
Right.
And now they're starting to drive really well. The Veloster N, I'm a huge fan.
I
That's
have
a
not
great
driven
car.
one yet. I've driven the turbo, the current turbo. I have not driven the N.
Oh, okay. The turbo is great. I mean, if you want Depreciation Nation, here it is right back
Let's
here.
bring it on.
These are really depreciated. This is another one of my 5 current race car projects.
Okay.
All dirt cheap.
Uh-huh.
This car came from the same place the Blue Firebird came from.
Okay.
A very dear friend of mine in North Carolina had a husband who was a car hoarder.
Uh-huh.
And he passed away a few years ago with 116 cars on their property. I mean, he had a problem.
Uh-huh.
He started going to insurance auctions and bringing home wrecked Camaros. I mean, they were lined up, 25 of them, to his house. He's out in the country. But what are you going to do with 25 wrecked Camaros? He liked buying. You know, he had a problem, hoarder. He also liked full-size station wagons, like the Roadmaster.
I like full-size station
and
wagons
the
as well.
Olds Vista Cruiser. I'd like to have one.
Yeah.
But anyway, he also bought old race cars. And so this is a car I've actually raced. It is another Firebird that was raced in the 24 Hours of Lemons under the theme of grumpy old men and a nurse. Because my friend is a nurse, Ann, and she races and she's really good. And so she made me a deal on this car. Lemons cars are not supposed to be pretty, they're supposed to be $500. And you can get Firebirds for $500. But this is a Trans Am, so it's a little bit of a cheater. It has a V8. So this car it's a Firebird Trans Am, about a 94. Last time it was raced, I was in it. You can only keep the wool over their eyes for so long. And it blew a head gasket.
Okay.
And it was parked. Now that was 8 years ago, and this Firebird was 12 years ago. And I bought it. They gave me a spare engine. It's dirt cheap, and we're going to get this going too. And we tested it, and the engine turned to a point, and then it quit. Turns out the cylinder that had the blown head gasket was full of water. I could tell by the rusty red water coming out. It had the plugs out.
Good sign.
But I worked it. And I know I'm pushing the piston through the rust in that cylinder, right? And turned it over, and it got better and better, and we're like, maybe we should just change the head gasket and go. Right? Let the rings machine the cylinder wall. Anyway, that's that. Let's take a look at this one.
This is the E36.
This is an E36 BMW from about 1997. Belongs to my good friend Morgan. She just needed a parking spot. Morgan is a single mom, actress who loves cars, and the movie business has really slowed down with COVID. And Morgan needed a car to drive, and so I let her borrow my Camaro. And my Camaro is a 2019. It's another Depreciation Nation car because Camaros, it's a 1LE, which is the track version. They're fantastic handling cars. And it's the 4-cylinder turbo. And its list price was $37,000. And I got it brand new condition, 1 year old, for $22,000.
That's the buy.
Depreciation Nation.
Indeed.
And I love it, but I haven't seen it for months because Morgan's been using it to take her daughter to school and everything. This is Morgan's drift car, and it actually runs well, and it has a suspension in it, and it's got a race seat. And Morgan is also not very tall, and she's absolutely beautiful though. She's an actress, and she's got a clutch pedal extension. Check out that hunk of wood on the clutch pedal. That's so she can reach the clutch. Even though the seat, you know, she's got a custom seat in it. And
You gotta see this.
this is a drift car. It's got a locked rear end in it, welded rear end, and we've actually done a little drifting with it at, what is it, Lanier Speedway? Well, that was the cars. But as we move to the back of the garage, we get into the motorcycles. Because really, I'm a bike guy. I've always liked two wheels better than four wheels. But I'm gonna say I have too much of a survival instinct to race a motorcycle. But not enough to not ride a motorcycle. And the funny thing is, a lot of the guys I know that race bikes or track motorcycles, they don't ride on the street. They say, that's too dangerous. And they're probably right. You know, and I'm thinking, on the track, you get hurt on a motorcycle, but yeah, there's not real likely you'll get killed.
You all go in the same direction and...
Yeah, but it is real likely you'll get hurt. But on the street, you can ride for a long time and never get hurt. So welcome to my humble abode, but look, I got another bike here in the house. This is a Rickman Honda Cafe Racer, 1974. Back in the early 70s, the Japanese had done such a great job on their engines and transmissions. The Japanese made the best engines by far in the early 70s, but the bikes didn't handle very well. But the English bikes handled great, like Triumphs, Nortons, BSAs, handled great, but they had terrible engines that were old-fashioned, didn't make the power, didn't have 5 speeds. So these brothers, the Rickman brothers, started making a kit. They're English, and they made the whole frame and everything that handled great, and you put a Japanese engine in it, and the disc brakes, and that's what a Rickman Honda was all about. There was a Rickman Honda and a Rickman Kawasaki for the Z1900. And I bought this bike. It's the nicest bike I have. It was totally restored. And it has never been started. When I brought it home, I didn't have room for it in the garage. And that was...
It looks good right there.
It was about when I bought this house, so that was 7 or 8 years ago. It does look about right, doesn't it? I thought, you know what, I don't even want to get it dirty. That's what's wrong with having something that's too nice. You don't even want to get it dirty. And so I parked it right there. Maybe I'll ride it someday. We'll see. Every so often I kick it over. I don't mean start it. I mean
Just kick it over to keep the motor lubed.
turn it. Yeah, I don't know if I kick it enough to actually get any oil circulating. But.
And so that is an afternoon with Randy Pobst. Thank you for playing along.
My pleasure.
Thank you for inviting us. Thank you for watching. Remember to hit that subscribe button at the bottom of your screen so that you don't miss awesome content like this. We'll talk to you soon.